Hi everyone, this is Vishal, and today we have another session of the day, that is we discuss about the Kotlin with the view model and the live data works. So for this I create a small module for you that how we can use the login. But this login view is not with the retrofit calls or the database calling. It just be your a simple discussion about how we can use the view model and the live data works. On my second tutorial, I will show you the same thing with the web services, and also we use the retrofit call, so you can learn that more about it. But how the Kotlin be used with the view model and live data, that's the motive of this session today. And hope all are doing good, and I'm giving thanks for your lovely comments that you put it, and you have queries that I will solve and already solve time to time, and in coming days I will solve more queries if you have any. So now in coming week or 2 weeks I will upload the videos related to the Kotlin, so you can learn the Kotlin who want to work with the Kotlin. So it's a very easy, and you use all the lifecycle components in this. So this is the first tutorial of the MVVM view model live data works. But if you don't know about the data binding and the simple Kotlin, you go for my previous tutorials of the Kotlin, in which you can learn that how we can use a simple data binding techniques in the Kotlin, how we can use the list view, how we can use the bottom navigations. So there are tutorials. I will give you the list one by one. You can learn that. So today you have to start with the view model and live data classes. So first and foremost things, whenever you work with the Kotlin with your view model or we can the data binding, so you can use the plugin. So that plugin is your Kotlin capped. If you see in your I will describe you in the Android Studio also, so there be always be the two plugin there, Kotlin Android and Kotlin Android extension. So you need to put one more plugin there, that is called your Kotlin capped. And for the data binding enable true, you must do it. And the last, as we did many times, and the last is your capped generate stubs is equals to true. So what's the meaning of this? This means this will be enable the compiler to generate stubs classes required for interoperability behavior of the Java and the Kotlin. That means communication. So these things be mandatory, and the rest of the things if you want to implement, you can go for this just like this. Here, if you want to work with the images, use the Picasso, life cycles, view model, live data compiler, extensions. If you work with the retrofit, so these things we need it. So today I'm not using the retrofit. I just described to you how the simple login works. But in the second session of the same tutorial uh, of this, I will show to you how you can use the retrofit with the web service called either login model with the Kotlin, as we did in a Java. Okay, so here we have a simple layout design. We have a main activity and the login model. So this we have to work on that. And one more thing I want to describe, that in my tutorial in my channel, that there will be the two ways to learn the channel. That is, one is that how you can start it the Java. So these be the series I will upload for you on the GitHub. So these be the series you can start your data binding MVVM first tutorials, then you go for the pure MVVM, how you can use the images with the MVVM, volley data binding, retrofit call with the MVVM. So these all we did it in my channel. You can learn on that. This is the Java tutorials. And one more thing, that is the second channel, second approach of the Kotlin you have to work. So there with the 4 videos for the Kotlin, you learn on that. So there be already a simple Kotlin how to start, list view in the Kotlin, bottom navigation Kotlin, and data binding Kotlin. And now today the next tutorial I will upload for, that is view model and live data classes with the Kotlin. So you learn, if you want to go for the Kotlin, you learn the Kotlin. If you go for the Java, you go for a Java. That is under the same channel. Okay, so that I will upload for you. You can see the links and learn it. Now we have to start the things in Android Studio. So let's see the small example we'll show you in Android Studio. Okay, so let us start in Android Studio. Here you can see that what I told you. You have to go for these plugins, these triple plugins. We have a Kotlin Android extension on the Kotlin Android, and this is the Kotlin cat. If you don't know how you can start it, the project, so you can go for my first tutorial. Okay, so here you first do the data binding, enable is equals to true, and the third one is your cap generate stubs is equals to true. So these two things be mandatory. Number one is your Kotlin capped data binding and enables to go true. Number two, and number three is your cap generate stubs true. And the rest of the dependency according to your project, whatever you want. Here I am using the retrofit JSON view model live data, but in this projects, because of it will continue on the second session, so I'm using this retrofit on the second session. Don't use here, just put it because of we can make it complete on my next session. I'm describe you today that's how we can use it without retrofit and how we can achieve this. And here we can say that we have a simple layout in which we have a two edit text and one uh, button. So we have to bind this, and this is our main activity. This is a Kotlin code. Now we have to start it with the basic structure, how we can use the view model class. So for this first, this is our package, and in the package you can make it as a view model. And number two, as we did it in my Java projects, that is we need all your presenters be there. So that means all your functions, you can call it presenter we have. And here you can make our model, that is be a Kotlin file here, and in which you can see that this is a login view model. Oh, this is your class login view model, and here in the Java we can extend it. So here we can extend it like this view model. So it marks it. That means we have to alt enter. That means it's a lifecycle view model, but it's red because of we need to use the constructor. So the first way to use the constructor in a Kotlin, it is the primary constructor, and the second way is to use the constructor is if you want something with on the secondary passing, so you can do it. You can pass the primary also, but don't make so long. We can use it like this also. Okay, so this is our view model, and as per we have to get access the things from the edit text, so we need the observable, as I described in the Java that how we can use the observable, why we use observables. So those things be here we can implement, just like you can say it is a username. And how we can use the observable field, you can make it as observable. Let's see be here. Yeah, so this is the observable field. You pass the value be here, alt enter. Okay, so that's the value, and you can copy paste it for the password also. So this is our password, and you can make it as user pass. So these to be ready for to get access the things from the activity binding. And number two is this is your mutable, so we can say result data, and that's your mutable live data, and we need it a string kind of data is it, so we can return. Okay, so that's the thing. And one more function we need it, so we can return the things. No need to make it a public, it just you can say it's a fun, and that fun be your get result login. So, and this is your which kind of result I want to make it a mutable live data of string kind of result, and in this you have to return back the your result data. Okay, So that means the things be easy. Here you can get back the things. And one more thing I needed to implement, that is call. So that is in which you have to call the login call. Login, this is the function. That means you have to pass the username, and that is your string. And okay, yeah, here you can say it username, pass. Okay, and number two, user pass, that is a string. So these to be ready, and here you can say that once a function be ready, that means you have to implement it with your username. So first you have to set this username dot set your value, and this value be your username p. And number two, you have to set user pass, and because of here we haven't find the database, we don't use the database or the web service, so I'm using this simple things be here. So simple logic create for here to check the cross things for the login. Okay, so once be ready, I will describe you more about that. Just leave it here. And now we have to go for your presenter. So in a presenter, what we have to do, you just go for the another Kotlin class and then say it is your presenter. In this presenter, you can make it a interface, and I will show you how you can call the interface also in the Kotlin. So this is your presenter, and in this presenter, under that you can make it as a fun, and that fun be your, you can say that this is our log in. Okay, so this is the method we have to implement, and now we have to go for the layout activity binding. So what we're doing, simple, we need it a simple layout. Then we go for the data, and under that data what we have to do, we need a variable in which we can call your view model. So that's view model be your login model. So this is our login model, and you can say that is the com dot example dot admin dot example view model, whatever, wherever is the location you can get it. But here it's a wrong thing. You can do it, you can make the variables be as a just you say com dot whatever be the name. Don't go with the long names. Okay, and the second variable be your that is presenter. So you can say presenter, and that presenter implemented for the com dot example dot admin dot, that's the presenter. Okay, so last is your layout, and you can control X the things and put it on the down, and this is your namespaces. So the namespaces be your, you have to put it in your layout. So that's the scenario we have to create, and okay, so now we have to call these things be here. So that means you need a text, and under the text what we have to do, at, and what the name of this, you have to use the same name, that is the login model. So this is the login model dot username, you can see that. Okay, and the second is your text is at login model dot user pass. So that means these to be the observable field, but whenever we have to pass the values, you can say it equal. The same thing you have to put it for here, that means you have to say that is the equal. Okay, and that means you enter the values here. You can take some values here, and on click here, on a click here, what to do, you just use the presenter. So say at and this is your V, that is the view, and this is your presenter. Let's see what is that. Again, you have to make it. Okay, so this is your presenter, and on the presenter, yeah, just copy paste here, and dot, this is your log in, I think so. So if you want to this, click on there, yeah, that is the function. So this is our presenter. How you can use this presenter, that is the main thing. So this is the main activity, and you have to go for, first you need a reference of the view model. So this is your view, uh, where view model, that is your login view model, that means view model providers of this and dot. In a Java, whenever we work with the view model providers, what we did just simply say view model providers dot of this, and that is the get, and that's your class. The same thing be here, but here you can say that this is your class name, that is your login view model, and you can say double colon, and that is your class dot Java. So that is the reference, you can take it in a Kotlin. Okay, and this is your view model dot, and here I want be the result of my get result login, so that we have to observe and observe for this, and there we can use new observer, but here you can say simple observe. Okay, and if you want to show that how we can use this, how we can say that it is accessed or denied, so for that you have to make a function fun show toast be here. There are many approaches of the Kotlin you can say. I'm just choosing the simple approach, as did many is simply making a text. So, so this is your um, make text, and whatever be your message, you can sorry, you can say it is make text, and this is your this, and this is your message, and this is your toast dot length long, and that is your dot show. So you have to pass the message, you say message string. Okay, so once this be clear, you can go for the show toast, and you can say it here, you can say it is it, you can say the string be here, and it, and the last is how we can call the activity binding be here, that is the most important. So you go for the where activity binding, this is your activity binding, and that means your activity main binding, and whenever you use this activity binding, that is your data binding util dot set content view, that is your this comma, you just pass this layout be here, and very simple. What is this? And you can close this, and the set content view. Okay, so once it's ready, you can call the activity presenter we here. So for the presenter, we have to on click, we have to work on this. So for we have a activity binding, and that means not be on a label dot presenter, and here you can say this is your object, we have to work with that object of your presenter class, this is my presenter, and yeah. So whenever you work with this presenter object, you have to override your function under this. So you can see this is a login function. Okay, so that's be okay. So whenever you override this function, that means here you can work with your implementation. So whenever we work with the interfaces, you can use this funda. It's very easy. And here you can say where name, and this is your string kind of function, and here we can say activity main binding dot. We have a okay. Let's see what the name of p here user pass text and user name text. These two IDs we can get access be here. So you can say activity main binding dot user name text dot, this is your text dot to string. Once this be okay, and the second is this is the pass. It's not showing, maybe by the we have to build Gradle one more time. Okay, so this is your user pass text. So these to be here, and once this to be ready, then we have to call our function. So the call function be your view model reference dot, we have to login call, and here we can pass our name, and this is your pass. Okay, so these things we have to work, and for this we have to rebuild so we can get access. Sometimes it happen, sometimes it's not showing the activity binding, sometimes maybe the name issues, so that's you have to work like that. You can rebuild this project. Okay, the gradle will be finished, so you can see that it's a blue, and the rest we have to work with the login because of we call here login call. So here we are passing these things. For this we have to hold a result where this is your result, and you can say that is your string, and that strings we like this. And once you set your values be here, you can cross check the things. If username dot get dot, that means whatever be your value, it's your equals to, I'm just using the name, my name, that is to be sure, and add user pass dot get dot equals, that's also be I'm using the Vishal, and if the username or password be equal, so it's the same things we can cross check with the database that I will describe you on my second session. And here you can say that is the result is equal to your access, and else the result be your denied. So this to be ready, and here you can put this result where we have the values just like your result mutable data. So that is the result data dot value, you have to set this value as an result. So that means whenever we get access or are denied, it put it in the mutable, and that mutable we return to our result data, and that result data whenever come in your main activity, it show to me that here it's here you can say that in observer method you can get access the thing. So I think so easy we will work with this. So this is the first simple view of login module in which we have to work. So now we run this and see, and once it's be run, then we go for the next tutorial in which we can describe you how we can make our retrofit call in it. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so the answer be of this, let's see. Yeah, so this is the screen, and you can say that this is Vishal, and you can get that access. And if you have something wrong, just like Vishal 1, so it's been denied. So it's very easy to work with this, and in coming sessions we'll describe to you that how we can do the same thing but using the web service and the retrofit call. So continue with this tour on the Kotlin, and very many videos I will upload for you, just recycler view, data binding, and your grid view with these Kotlin tutorials. Okay, so thank you so much for the day. We have to wind up. Thanks.